guys, welcome back to Creative Vibes. And today what we're going to go over is the 4 stitch cable. So I think this is going to be a great introduction to cabling. If you're new to using cable needles, this is the most simplest cable stitch that you can learn just to keep your feet wet into learning how to use a cable needle. So I just did garter edges on the side here. I did the German twist for the cast on. You can use whatever cast on you like, doesn't really matter. Just explaining what we have going on here. And then just a simple bind off at the top. So this is the 2-row cable that we have here. We have the reverse stockinette pattern here. So we have the garters or the purls on this side, on the right side. And then we have the rib stitching on the back side here. So hence reverse stockinette, because it would be the other way around if it was the traditional stockinette background. So grab your needles and your yarn, and you're going to need a cable needle as well. So grab those 3 things, come on back, and you'll get to learn how to do the 4-stitch cable. So for the cable needle that I like to use, I like this particular cable needle here because it has the well that's right in the middle. So for me and the way that I knit, it works for me because the yarn is less likely to slip off the other ends because it can sit in this little well here, and you'll see more of that as we use the needle. But I've seen needles that have like a hook on them, so they look like a fishing hook, or I've seen ones that are just straight across. So it's like with anything with knitting, you have to kind of play around with the tool, see which one works and which ones don't. So it's pretty much trial and error. But for me, this needle has been working great so far, so I'm going to stick with this one for now. So we're going to start off on the right side of the work. So you'll need to cast on in multiples of 8. So just for this learning purpose here in this tutorial, I'm only going to cast on 16 stitches because we're just going to really be focusing on how to cable. So I'm not going to do any border edges or anything like that. This is just going to be solely just so you can get the technique of how to cable. So there's that. So I have 16 needles. You're going to cast on in multiples of 8 here. So for row 1, you're going to be on your right side of the work. You're going to do within the asterisk, purl 2, K4, knit 4, and purl 2. So just pretty straightforward, what you already know how to do. So let's get that started. So with yarn in the front, you're just going to purl your first stitch. Purl 1 and purl 2. Make sure I'm in the camera here. Then you're going to knit for 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to bring the yarn back to the front and purl 2. So that is the repeat for row 1. You're going to do that for how many ever stitches that you've decided to cast on to your needle. So I will see you on row 2. Okay, so row 2, you should be on your wrong side of the work. So you're going to do everything that's between the asterisks. That's going to be your repeat for the row. It's going to be knit 2, purl 4, and knit 2. So we're going to start off with our yarn in the back, and we're going to knit for 2, 1 and 2. Bring your yarn to the front. Then we're going to purl for 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we're going to knit for 2. Okay, and that is a repeat for row 2. Do that for however many stitches that you have on your needle, and I will see you on row 3. Okay, so we're on row 3, so you should be on the right side of your work. So the repeat is the same as row number 1. So it's going to be purl 2, knit 4, and purl 2. So we already seen that on row 1. So I will catch you on row 4. Okay, so row 4 is going to be the same as row number 2. You're going to do everything within the asterisks. So that's going to be knit 2, purl 4, and K2. And I promise we are going to get to those cable needles. Those are next. So I will meet you on row 5. Okay, so now it is finally time to get out those cable needles. So for row 5, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to cable forward to the back and cable forward to the front. So when you see that in your patterns, you'll know how to work either one. It won't really make a difference. So the repeat is P2 or purl 2, cable forward to the back, or cable forward to the front. And then again, I'll teach you how to do either one of those, and then purl 2. So let's get started on that. All right, so you're going to purl 2, 1 and 2. Okay, so do whatever you feel comfortable with. I try to hold everything in my hand if I can. So I'm going to pick up my cable needle here, and then all I'm going to do is scoot up to the front, and then I'm going to take off 2 stitches here, 1, 2, and then scoot those to the back. And you see how your stitches just stay nice and neat in this little well here. And if it twists and turns, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. But that for me is good because the needles just won't slip off all over the place. So now that those 2 are held to the back on the cable needle, you're going to knit 2 and just scoot that back there from your main needle. So 1 and 2. You're going to go back to your cable needle, which is here. Scoot your stitches up, take your time. It's going to feel a little weird at the beginning until you get your fingers the way you want. And then you're just going to knit 2 off of your cable needle. 1 and 2. And that's how you will knit 4 to the back. Excuse me, cable 4 to the back, I should say. So you can put your cable needle down for now. And then you're just going to purl 2 to complete what's within the asterisk. And that's the repeat. So you see how, and I will go up a little bit closer. You see how we're going more to the right now with the cable 4 to the back. So let's cable 4 to the front now. So let's do the repeat. So we're going to purl 2, 1 and 2. So now put my yarn to the back there. Let's pick up our cable needle, and now we're going to cable 4 to the front. So we're just going to pick up 2, 1, 2, and now have our cable needle sitting right in the front of our work. Knit 2 now off of your main needle. 1 and 2. Now you're going to go back to your cable needle and knit off of that. 1 and 2. You can put your cable needle down. And now you see how the cabling is leaning more to your left now. And then just finish the repeat. You're going to do purl 2. And if you have to do it that slow, that's fine until you get the mechanics of what you're doing. But it's not a race, you're just getting used to working multiple things at once. So again, this is the cable 4 back. It's going more to the right. And cable 4 front is going more to the left. So now you can switch it up in a pattern however you like. If you wanted to do just like this, you can have them 2 different ones so you can have a different effect in your work, or you could just do to the back or to the front, whichever way you like. Now you know how to do both. So I will meet you on row 6. Okay, so now you're at the home stretch of the pattern. So this is going to be row 6. So row 6 is just like row 4 and 2. So you're going to knit 2, purl 4, and knit 2. So I will see you. I'm going to knit up a few more rows so that you can see the actual lean to the right and lean to the left of the cabling, so you can get more of the effect. But rows 2, 4, and 6 are the same. It's just K2, purl 4, and K2. Okay, so I have knitted up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cables here, just so you can see and get an idea of what the pattern looks like. When you do cable 4 to the back, you're going to be leaning more to the right, and cable 4 to the front, you're going to be leaning more to the left. So this will give you a perspective of how your pattern will look if you alternate the two, or again, like I said before, you could just have it all to the left, to the front, or all to the right, to the back. So it's completely up to you. So don't be afraid of those cables. You do know the basic way of doing cabling. So now you can try it and you don't have to steer away from any pattern that has cable 4 to the front or back in it. So let me know what you think. I thank you so much for hanging out with me and learning how to do this stitch. And welcome to the new subscribers to the channel. So happy knitting, and I will see you on the next video. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next project.